I'd like to invite back to the stage Chief Executive of Hort New Zealand, Kate Scott. And Kate's going to give us an update on some of the RSE wins and challenges and progress on the Whānau Wānanui pilot. Welcome, Kate.
Thank you for that warm introduction, Karen. And look, it's a pleasure to be here this morning to be able to share a little bit of an update on the Whānau Wānanui pilot. This is a body of work that's incredibly important to not only the team that work across horticulture in Hort NZ and within some of our partner product groups as well, but also we know an incredibly important part for the RSE scheme in our Pacific whānau as well. So I've been practicing since last year. For those of you who were last year, all my welcomes and the various Pacific greetings. So I'm going to give that a crack again this morning. So very happy to take on your feedback on improving my pronunciation. So Nisa Bulavanaka, Kuna Mauri, welcome, Talofa Lava, Halo, Talofa, Malo Elele, and bon dia. So good morning, kia ora, welcome to you all. Forgive me while I try and manage both the paper and the slide deck. It's not necessarily my strength, but look, we'll see how we go. So look, just starting here, this slide, whilst it looks busy, is really about talking about how Whānau Wānanui is intended to bring the RSE horticulture employers together alongside some of our Pacific partners. And that is about collectively providing opportunities to more than 2,600 RSE workers. It's about enabling businesses to sustain roughly 3,700 permanent New Zealand jobs and contribute to approximately 2.2 billion to the hort sector and wider economy. So the current Whānau Wānanui pilot involves 7 of our growing businesses, which you can see on the screen here. I won't read them all out, and also our 4 Pacific sending countries that are participating in the pilot as well, which you can also see on the top of the screen here. Really part of the value of this pilot in my mind is the fact that it's about co-design and about working together to deliver better outcomes. That co-design has been focusing on things such as what the priorities and standards are, what the framework might be, and about testing and refining so that we can have a scheme that creates benefit for growers, for workers, and for Pacific communities. So just as a bit of a start, what is Whānau Wānanui? And I think this slide really sums it up. It's about an industry-led, government-enabled program that works alongside the RSE scheme to strengthen practices and meet increasingly stringent market requirements around social sustainability and ethical production practices. But ultimately, to sum or take from Martin's point, it's actually about people, and we can't do what we do without people. So what the Whānau Wānanui program has set about doing is creating both some goals and some standards, which you can read for yourself on the slides here in front of us. But the standards were agreed by the working group based on what the priorities that had been identified. And since launching in 2024, Hort NZ and the Whānau Wānanui pilot group have worked together to develop an industry-led program that meets labour needs through credible and ethical employment practices. Work is still in progress to refine the standards and performance measures for the next 6 months, but it's really pleasing to see, since I stood here before you 12 months ago, just the progress that has been made in such a short time. And whilst today I'm not going to talk specifically to the work that's been going on in the policy space and the RSE review that will be captured by other speakers later today, except for to say that the work of the Whānau Wānanui pilot also plays an integral part of underpinning policy change as well. So Whānau Wānanui is about moving beyond compliance to a trusted, people-centred partnership that delivers better outcomes for growers, workers, Pacific nations and for New Zealand. But why does Whānau Wānanui matter? As the RSE scheme approaches its 20th year coming up next year, which is an incredible milestone for any labour mobility program, Whānau Wānanui actually provides us with an opportunity for industry to lead the future of labour mobility. It brings together everyone to be committed to improving minimum standards, demonstrating ethical, people-centred practices, while also showing that we can meet what the market and the customer is asking of us. It is a model that is built on trust, performance and shared prosperity. And for me, I think the word that I think about the most when I think about the RSE scheme, it's a word that's very hard to say, but has a huge amount of gratitude connected within it, and that is the word reciprocity. It's about how do we all give to each other. So if we think about the progress that's been undertaken over the course of the last 12 months and within the pilot more generally, there has been a huge amount of work that have been undertaken by the team in the development of those standards and frameworks, and including the sending country and employer booklets, which having had the opportunity to pick these up and look at them on a number of occasions, are such a wealth of knowledge that I've heard growers talk about the value that they also bring to them every day. So thank you to everyone for your role in creating those documents. We also have done a huge amount of work in terms of connecting with key RSE stakeholders, creating goal-setting templates, pre-departure forms, disputes guides, a whānau moana nui independent employment agreement, and work around fatigue policies. Again, these are all things that are really important for us to have a really strong RSE scheme that keeps people at its heart and connects across growers, the Pacific, and the sector more generally. The last update that I wanted to talk about before I move into our timeframes from here was the work that had been done in terms of the pastoral care guideline. Everyone I talk to within the sector who is connected to RSE talks with such warmth about the value that they see around creating opportunities for pastoral care. And without that, we can't actually deliver a scheme that builds on trust and reciprocity. And I know that whilst I wasn't able to join all of the sessions yesterday, from the sessions that I did attend with the RSE growers in the Pacific Forum, there was a lot of talk yesterday about pastoral care and the importance of pastoral care to the success of the scheme. And I think if we keep that front and centre, our scheme will continue to go from strength to strength as we look at that next period of 20 years in front of us as a scheme. So in terms of timeframes, again, this is a slightly busy slide, but really what I want to focus on is implementation. So the next 6 to 8 months in front of us are really focused on implementing the work that's been undertaken over the course of the last 12 to 18 months. That's about testing, bedding in, making changes to ensure that we can deliver outcomes from this pilot project that we know will be embedded in the sector and will continue to deliver a huge amount of value for everyone moving forward. I think more generally, when we look at where we've come from all the way back in 2024, there has been a huge amount of work that has been undertaken in that time. And what we're really wanting to take the opportunity while we're all gathered here is to hear your feedback around the whānau moana nui pilot, but also where you think we can continue to add value to build on what this pilot program will enable us as we look to the future. So look, thank you so much for having me along for a very brief update on the project today. I look forward to connecting with you all over the course of the next few days, and thank you so much for your dedication and commitment to the RSE scheme. Thank you very much.